Every Wednesday from 3:30 to 5:30, there will be people protesting with the Black Lives Matter grassroots protesters. And did you want to speak at all about that? Anybody? Okay. You want to come up and, okay, come on up. All right, I'm going to bring up one of our Black Lives Matter protesters, and I'd like you to listen to what she has to say. We want to make sure that people know how things are going. We need more white bodies there. We do have young people coming. We want them to be safe too. I will say, I think that this last week, we were successful. There was enough police that there was a few real jerks, but they didn't get a chance to escalate, and that was the difference. Okay, come on up, Maya.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out. I also wanted to give a big shout out to Kaylee Shelton. She was able to get the Black Lives Matter protest up and running here just by going out with her and her son and standing up for what she believes in and standing up for the safety of the children and her family and also the Black members of the community here too. So it's really nerve-wracking, but all it took was just one person, and we've been out there since June. So that's really an amazing accomplishment. So we're out there in support and in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter Global Network. The Black Lives Matter Global Network began back in 2012 with the vigilante murder of Trayvon Martin. So it is the police that murder us. It is also racist white people in the community who take justice into their own hands. So that's very important. And it began back in 2012. There was a ton of backlash with that, but since then it has now turned into a global network. And with the murder of George Floyd, it's important to mention that there was protests for that all across the nation, as well as all across the world. So people everywhere are paying attention to what's happening. Racial justice is an issue in our community, but also globally, this is an experience for everyone. So with being in solidarity with Black Lives Matter, there are calling right now for defunding the police. A lot of people don't really understand what that means. So when we talk about defunding the police, what we're really addressing is the huge inflation that the police receive in the budget. And that's really enabled the militarization of police to where we see the police rolling up with tanks and riot gear. And that's really a threat to everyone. No one's really safe when we have a military police style coming in and harming our communities. So with defunding the police were able to get to that point of being military style because they were getting invested with resources and funding that was robbed from other portions of our community. So the police became overinflated because we're taking away funding and resources from the community, from education, from healthcare, from housing. So when we call for defunding the police, what we're really calling for is investing back into our communities so that we can make sure that our basic needs are being met. And it's really more focusing on, so the police, they intervene after a crime has happened, right? It's after something has already occurred. So when we call to invest in the community, what we're really looking for is crime prevention. Because when you have an educated population, when you have a population whose needs are being met, when they're able to get the education that they deserve, when they're able to have food and water and housing, then you don't see as much crime, you don't see as much unrest and violence. So really, this whole issue of crime that we're having is because our community's needs are not being met. So when we call to defund the police, what we're really calling for is investing back in our community. So I have a message that the Black Lives Matter Global Network has written that I want to share with you guys that is calling for the defunding of police. So give me a moment, I'm going to pull that up. All right, so this is from the Black Lives Matter Global Network, and it's with the hashtag defund the police. So enough is enough. Our pain, our cries, and our need to be seen and heard resonate throughout this entire country. We demand acknowledgement and accountability for the devaluation and the dehumanization of Black life at the hands of police. We call for radical, sustainable solutions that affirm the prosperity of Black lives. George Floyd's violent death was a breaking point, and an all too familiar reminder that for Black people, law enforcement doesn't protect or save our lives. They often threaten and take them. Right now, Minneapolis and cities across our country are on fire, and our people are hurting. The violence against Black bodies fell in the ongoing mass disobedience, all while we grapple with the pandemic that is disproportionately affecting, infecting, and killing us. We call for an end to systemic racism that allows this culture of corruption to go unchecked and for our lives to be taken. We call for a national defunding of police. We demand investment in our communities and the resources to ensure that Black people not only survive, but thrive. If you're with us, please show your support and solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. Currently, we are fighting two deadly viruses. COVID-19 is threatening our health. White supremacy is threatening our existence. And both are killing us every single day. We demand real transformation now. Transformation that will hold law enforcement accountable for the violence that they inflict. Transformation of this racist system that breeds corruption, and transformation that ensures our people are not left behind. It is time for our cities and states to defund the police and invest in our communities. Thank you.